All right, what's going on, my friends? Welcome back to another market and trade review. Today is January 28th. Just wrapped up the New York Open and caught a little bit over 200 points on the NASDAQ. All right, so I'm going to break down the exact trades I took, my thought process, how I managed my trades, things of that sort. But before we get into that, let's just go back to yesterday really quickly because we had a massive gap down, right? At the lows from the gap down where we closed on the weekend was about 1,150 points due to the flood around the DeepSeek AI from China. Nvidia absolutely tanked. All the chip stocks got hit, as well as the NASDAQ. So we had a massive move down. And then during New York, we pretty much just chopped around in this range. There were some good setups because the range was really wide, but we pretty much just stayed in this area. So coming into today, there was a few things I was looking for. We opened up right here where this yellow line is. I was either looking for a manipulation move lower like this, maybe sweep London and these lows even come down to here ideally, and then manipulate down here and get bought back up to push back towards supply and these upper hourly levels through this area. That was the first trade idea I was looking for. The next one is if we had a lot of strength off the open, was to immediately push into supply, try and get over this area, fail, and then put in some type of reversal model to take it back down to the open, and then maybe even down towards some of these lows down through here. If we were really strong and we immediately pushed up and were able to reclaim the supply and really break out of this range, then longs back over here to these hourly levels and even filling a little bit more of this New York gap was also a possibility. So there was a lot of different options for today coming into it. But I wasn't really sure if we are just going to chop around or if we were actually going to get some smooth action. And we got incredible action, some of the best action I've personally seen in the New York session this year. All right, so let's drop down into a smaller time frame. I'll actually switch charts so you can see my executions, and I'll run through each trade individually. The first trade I took was almost off the open. It was only 4 minutes into the open, which is actually pretty unusual for me. I usually wait at least 5 to 10 minutes to take a trade, but I like this one a lot. Coming into the market open, right, we had a big rejection off of VWAP. We tried to go higher, and we absolutely slammed down, breaking some market structure on the 1 and the 2 minute time frame and getting displacement here, leaving a nice 1 and 2 minute fair value gap. So what I was looking for was a retracement into this fair value gap, into this imbalance, and then a nice rejection. I entered after I started seeing price reject here, and I put my stop above this wick. So I got filled around 80 right here, and I was able to take a trim off down towards these lows right there. And then I took another trim off at, these weren't London lows, these were these big pivot lows on the 1 hour time frame right here. That's where I took my second trim off. I entered with 10 M&Q. I trimmed 3, and then I trimmed another 3 right here. And then once we held, right, we had another imbalance put in on the 1 minute and the 2 minute right here. We actually pulled back into that, retraced. I waited a little bit just to make sure we weren't going to have a deeper retracement. And then once I saw that we were holding, we rounded over. We got a nice trending sell set up right here. I actually added back 4. So I was in 10, I trimmed 6 total, added back 4. I was back into 10 M&Q. I trimmed 3 as we were breaking through these lows right through here. So it was a quicker trim. It was about 18 points. I trimmed again at about 35 points. Once I saw we had this huge bearish bar here. We got a really bearish close on the 2 minute. And we started taking out these lows. I went ahead and trailed my stop above this bar because typically what happens is if we don't get follow through on this move and we reverse and we take out that high right away, then I don't want to be in the trade anymore because we're basically getting a failure to go lower, right? We're just taking out this little liquidity here, boom, manipulating, and then we're going to reverse. So I like to trail my stops when we're getting these breakout bars. Same reason I would trail my stop here, right? So in this case, I had my stop up here, but even if you wanted to trail it above this bar, once we close down here, that's safe too, because if we were to actually reverse and get back over this area, I would not want to be in the trade any longer. So I trailed my stop pretty tight here. We did not get follow through on that, and I got stopped out on the final 5 for profit. This was trade number 1. I'll go ahead and 80 to my final trim right there. So about a 6.5 R. If you include the trims I took, then it was more like a 4R, maybe a 3.5R in total, right? Because obviously my first trims were much quicker. But overall, a really, really solid way to start the day. And then I just waited from here, right? I didn't have anything to really qualify for taking a reversal setup. If I really wanted to, I would have probably tried to stab the reversal setup here, or I would have tried to take something through here. But these bars were so aggressive, it didn't really give me the entry I was looking for. I really liked. We didn't have a big enough pullback into any of these imbalances for me to get an entry either. And I didn't want to take anything up through here because my risk to reward would have been pretty shot. So I just waited at that point. I waited on the 2 minute, the 5 minute, and then eventually we broke through the open, right? 10 a.m. candle shot us all the way back up to this hourly level. We were really overextended at this point on the 2 minute, the 5 minute, all these time frames, because we just had a massive move pretty much straight up. And if you know me, one of my strategies is called the slingshot bounce. If you want the full playbook, you can just comment on the YouTube video or go to my Instagram and comment slingshot, and I'll send that over. But when we're overextended by more than 60 points on the 2 minute and 80 points on the 5 minute, and we're coming into a key level, then I sometimes take a rejection play. So that's exactly what I did here as we were really overextended, right? At this point, this is only the 1 minute time frame. We were about 40 points overextended, about 60 points overextended on the 2 minute. I'll go to the 5 minute real quick. And at that point, we were about 83 points overextended coming into that level. And also at the same time, we were taking out these highs. So we had a nice sweep and the level. So a few confluences right there. So I took a short at that hourly level at 368, as close as I could possibly get it. I didn't get filled right there. I got filled like 364. And all I was looking for was a retracement into this imbalance down here. So as soon as we had this nice big bar, we dipped straight down into there. I was able to take profit off for about 35, 36 points. It was just a nice little scalp. So let me go ahead and mark that one up. Got filled right here. Stop was above the hourly and that's high. So I was only risking like, I think 7 or 8 points on the trade, which was really, really ideal for me. And then I took profit off down here once we started to penetrate that imbalance. So that was a nice 5R right here. And then I was actually, my main setup I wanted to look for was for us to hold the OP, pull back into the imbalance, and then get continuation. So once I sold, that was one of the reasons I sold early, is because I didn't think we were going to have a full reversal after that. So we pulled back. Then once I saw we were starting to respect this imbalance and we were starting to push up here, I waited until this 1 minute bar right here, and I got filled around 29, I believe it was. Yeah, so right here. So 2 minute started to bounce. We were holding the EMAs. We were holding the imbalance. We were holding overview up in the open. And then on this 1 minute bar, once we wicked down and started pushing back up, that's where I took my entry. First trim was highs in this hourly level. And then once I saw we were able to actually reclaim this hourly level, hold the hourly level, and hold highs, I re-added right here on the 2 minute. You can see on the 1 minute and the 2 minute, both of these, we closed above, wicked lower, and then pushed up. I added to my position. So right here, I entered 10 M&Q right there. I trimmed 6 here, so I had a bigger trim because I just wanted to make sure we were going to actually be able to get over it. Trim 6 was left in 4, and then I added back 4 more. 4 M&Q, trim 6, and then I was looking for the move up to supply, right? So this higher hourly level in the supply zone up here. I'm not sure why I have double doses going on here. I was looking for that larger move up to these highs, right? Because there's a lot of liquidity up here. So once we got that, that was it for me. That's all I needed. So I got out full here. Now I'm obviously wishing I held because we just absolutely flew through that move for another 55 points, you know, but it's all in hindsight. I was still really happy with the trade overall. It was, I entered here. Stop was under these lows, so risking about 15, and got out this hourly. So it was still a 6R trade. I did sell half, but I re-added, so I'm not going to do the exact math on it, but in total, you know, it's got to be between 3.5 to 4.5 R with the trims and the ads. So was very, very, very happy with that. When I entered here, I trailed underneath this low, by the way. So I trailed here, and that was that. Let me see if I'm forgetting anything. Those are the only trades I took. So 3 main trades in total. This one larger trade where I added and trimmed, this quick scalp, and then this larger trade as well. All right, so that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you found this valuable. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe, maybe share it with a friend. I'm going to continue to post these at least 1 to 2 times a week when the action's good. And, I'm going to share more than just my wins. Like the last few I've posted have been really good winning days. But if there's a day where I get wrecked or there's some days where I make bad mistakes, I will post those as well. I think those are just as valuable, if not more valuable, than the days I execute well on. So stay tuned for more. And until then, stay driven. Peace. If you found this video helpful and you want to trade these exact setups live with me in real time in our trading academy, click the link in my description. You can do this completely free, no risk for 7 days. Check it out, see if you're a good fit. And in addition to all the live trading, you can join our weekly webinars. You can get your questions answered. You get to be a part of a kick-ass community, and you get to check out all of our really good trading and self-mastery resources. I hope to see you in there.